Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, yes. Some months back, President Uhuru Kenyatta was in Vihiga County attending a burial ceremony for Mama Anna Mudavadi, Musalia Mudavadi's late mom. And the president started off a very interesting discussion. The president was saying, it's time Kenyans think outside of the box. It can't be just two communities, Kikuyu, Kalenjin, rotating power. As I talk, elections will be next week on Tuesday, about 1 week from now. And if you look at the leading camps, we have a William Ruto Rigathi ticket, and then we have a Raila Martha Karua ticket. A William Ruto Rigathi ticket is seen as a ticket that is just enhancing the ethnic domination of two communities against other Kenyan communities, in that it just maintains the status quo. Kalenjin, Kikuyu, Kikuyu, Kalenjin. If you look at Raila Martha Karua ticket, it's a ticket actually bringing in some change, in that assuming that ticket goes on to win, then for the very first time since independence, Kenya is going to have a non-Kalenjin, non-Kikuyu as a president. So Raila's Martha Karua ticket is seen as a ticket that is bringing in some kind and form of change. William Ruto Rigathi ticket is seen as a ticket most likely just going to enhance the status quo. So in this video, I want us to dig deep into the topic to see its political implications in this year's elections. But before we do that, I want us to listen to Danston Omari speaking at K24 TV.
Well, the president, in his wisdom, looked at the history of presidency in this country and the distribution of power in this country, and realized that from 1963 to 2022, power has been in the hands of the Kikuyu nation and the Kalenjin nation. And the president said very clearly that if it's time, power shifts and goes to other people. Reason being that the clamor for power had reached a point where people were saying, Kenya, Pwani si Kenya. People had reached and said, we need to secede now and create our own country. I will bring you the question of deep people feeling disfranchised and people feeling they are not part of that government. For example, you know, every Thursday to Monday, I go to campaigns in West Mugrango. That is the story in West Mugrango constituency, where two regions have been in power for the member of parliament for 53 years, to the exclusion of 3 other wards. And the argument people are saying is that if these 3 other wards cannot also exercise power, then we do not belong to West Mugrango constituency. So this narrative is not only in the national discourse. It is a discourse that, wait, yes, democracy is by voting. Remember what has been happening in Tanzania, remember what has happened in very, very many countries, is that once people feel really by tyranny of numbers, you remember the Mutai Ngunyi story, yes, that as we have tyranny of numbers, then the question is, when shall we as control the state power?
Yes. I don't know what you make or think of those remarks by Danston Omari, but in this video, I want us to have a look at some political implications of a Rigathi Ruto ticket winning or Raila Karua ticket winning. Let's start with William Ruto Rigathi ticket winning. If William Ruto Rigathi ticket wins, then William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua will have succeeded in enhancing or entrenching Kikuyu Kalenjin ethnic domination against other Kenyan communities. And it will be very hard for other Kenyan communities to organize themselves once more to dislodge them from power through the ballot. That will actually make these other Kenyan communities now to find other means and avenues of dislodging these people from power, not necessarily through the ballot. And that will most likely lead to a revolt in Kenya. And that is so because if you look at William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua, assuming now that they control government, they have all the instruments of power. I'm seeing a ticket of William Ruto, Rigathi Gachagua performing poorly, performing dismally, seriously dismally. Yes. So that will force Kenya to actually rebel. And now that they can't be removed or rather dislodged from power through the ballot, Kenyans will most likely use other avenues and means to remove this duo from power. And then if you look at it economically, for the time Kenya has been ruled by these two communities, it's also a given fact that development projects have only been channeled to areas where these leaders come from. That's the mountain and in Kalenjin Rift Valley. And if Ruto and Rigathi ticket wins, then that's most likely going to continue. We'll just see developments being channeled to where these two leaders come from. And William Ruto in his first term actually just proved that when he appointed only Kalenjin as cabinet secretaries. If he wins the presidency, that's exactly what is going to continue. Corruption most likely is going to continue because William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua, they are seen as corrupt leaders and they are not actually going to change if they assume power. They are just going to actually increase or rather do exactly what they've been doing even when they were not having that power. They're now just going to do it more courageously and more bravely. And also assuming Ruto and Rigathi ticket wins, then Kenyans are actually going to lose hope. The presidency, or rather, will be seen as a reserve of only some communities. In that if you are not a Kalenjin or a Kikuyu, then chances of you becoming the president are almost zero. That's also something that is going to make Kenyans lose hope. William Ruto Rigathi ticket winning will disillusion a very good majority of Kenyans into now believing and seeing that Kenyan presidency is just a preserve of two communities, Kalenjins and the Kikuyus. Assuming Raila Odinga ticket wins, then I'm seeing a change going to be ushered in that for the very first time since independence, a non-Kikuyu, non-Kalenjin tribe is going to be the president. And that alone is going to bring some excitement amongst Kenyans, in that now we have a president who is not a Kikuyu and not a Kalenjin. That's going to give Kenyans hope. It's going to give Kenyans some optimism, And that in itself can also open doors also for other communities, maybe Kamba, Luya, any other type that is not necessarily Kalenjin or Kikuyu ruling. Because assuming now Raila is actually exiting the political stage, we might find even somebody from the Luya nation taking over from Raila, or maybe from Kamba, in that Raila shall have opened doors for those other communities. That's also something I'm seeing here. And then the principle that has ruled Kenya since independence is also most likely going to change. The Kikuyu Kalenjin mentality is most likely going to change. In that since independence, Kenya has only been ruled by these two communities. And I strongly believe that the Kalenjin Kikuyu mentality is all along what has been ruling Kenya. And assuming now we have a president who is not Kalenjin and not Kikuyu, then that kind of mentality, that kind of a principle is most likely going to change. There is obviously going to be a new dawn in Kenya. And then if you look at Martha Karua and Raila Odinga, they do are seen as reformers. And I think assuming they win, then most likely Kenya is going to have, they are going to expand the democratic space in Kenya. That's also something I'm seeing here, because they are known to be fighting, all along they have spent their lives fighting for that kind of democracy, as opposed to William Ruto, Rigathi Gachagua, who have been seen to have been benefiting from the oppressive previous governments. And if you look at William Ruto, the way he started his politics based on some form of hooliganisms. Why K92? That's still largely William Ruto's brand of politics. Same to Rigathi Gachagua. He was a special deal in the Nyayo government. He was seen as being, he was being used by the then oppressive government to oppress some Kenyans. If they take power, most likely they just continue with the same principles. Those are just about a few of some political implications I'm seeing as assuming Raila or William Ruto wins this year's presidency. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. In case you have not yet subscribed, kindly subscribe, give this video a like. And to our fans and subscribers here, I'm very much humbled, very grateful for the kind of support you are giving me here. God bless you. God bless Kenya. To any other person watching us outside Kenya, drop a comment. Tell us from which part of the globe you are watching us from. If possible, again, subscribe, give this video a like. To any other person, that's the kind of analysis we do here. We don't beat about the bush. We go straight to the point. We call it as it is. God bless you. God bless Kenya.